Alright, today we're covering long lines. Just a little bit of an introduction to long lines, different types out there, when you want to use them, and why you want to use them. Sit. This is Fynn, by the way. He's our pupil for the day. He's just under 2 right now. A couple months to go. So this right here is a standard 20-foot long line from Petco. It's a flat lead. Got a buckle on the end, and it's got a loop on the other end. Not particularly one of my favorites because they're hard on the hands, but they work for the purpose. This one right here is 20-foot long line from the store. It's 3/8 line. Got a buckle that I just tied in a knot, fishing knot on the end, and I left the other end without a loop. The flexi line is one of my favorites for when you're going out in town, going to the park, the beach, anywhere where you don't necessarily want a 6-foot leash, but they either are required to be on a leash or you want to give them that freedom but still have control. For doing walks down at the, like I said, the beach, where you want to be able to recall them back if another dog comes in, or if first of all, if there's leash laws there, you don't necessarily want your dog on a 6-foot leash all the time at the beach. That wouldn't be any fun. This particular one is a Comfort Long. It is the longer one. It's 26 foot. I believe you have to get them on Amazon now. I'm not sure if you can find them locally. For today, though, we're going to be using the standard rope line on Finley. He's got a basic plastic hunting collar on. Nothing fancy about it. Any collar will work, especially with him. He responds really well to collar on his leash or collar on his neck, so he doesn't necessarily need a choke chain. You may need to put a choke chain on any particular dog. It just depends on the personality of the dog. And then also you'll notice Finn's got 2 collars on. He's got his e-collar on. It's not powered up and I don't even have the remote, but what we're doing is just letting him get used to having that extra collar, that extra weight, because these little guys actually do tell that they're on their neck with the extra weight that's on them. He may never need him. Hopefully you never need him, but for us, we like to use them out in the field when we're going pheasant hunting or duck hunting as an extra security, just in case they decide to be a dog and not listen. I've got my treats as a praise, but also Finley does really good on a verbal and an attention praise, so we may not even need him. Situations for the long line, the biggest thing with the long line is they are a transition from your 6-foot line to off leash. So the more time you spend with the long line, the more assurity you're going to have when they're off leash that they're actually going to come back to you when they need to. And the biggest situations is mostly for a safety thing. Your dog doesn't know that the road out there is actually a potential hazard, so you want to be able to recall your dog if they're chasing a ball, chasing a bird, chasing a kid across the street, or the kids to the other side of the street, and you want to be able to stop them and have them come right back to you right now when you say it. So an important thing to remember when working on recalls is give the command once. You're not going to count to 3. You're not going to give your dog a second chance. When you say come, it means come right now. And unfortunately, it sounds a little brutal saying it like that, but if they don't come on the first time and they're running straight to the highway, then you're going to want that first come to be listened to. So when you say the command come, when they're distracted on something, you tell them come, you give a quick little pop on the leash. If you have to continue pulling it in, you've got that capability. In the beginning, you probably will have to continue pulling them in. And it's also important that when you're pulling them in, that you're backing up. You never want to chase your dog, especially puppies. They look at it as a game of keep away, and they'll continue running from you. So it's important to back away from your dog. That also gets them coming in fast, and that's exactly what you want in a dangerous situation. Other situations that I use long line in is if I purchase a new dog and I don't have a clue what their training has been. Dogs that come up for breeding or for boarding, they will always have a long line on. And if I have to back up and do a couple steps over again on an experienced dog, then I'll start back with the long line. So it's not a permanent thing. Realistically, you want to be able to wean off the long line. You want to be able to have your freedom off leash, but you got to do your homework first, and you got to get the dog in multiple situations to where they understand that no matter what is out there, when you say come, come means come. So we're going to switch him over to the long line and see if he'll get further away from me to do some recalls here. With these long lines, you want to make sure that you just let them drop on the ground. You don't want to be wrapping them around your hand, trying to mess with it. You're not training the rope, you're training the dog. So it does take a little bit of practice and a little bit getting used to, but you just want to let it hang in the dirt. And that way, and then just let it run through your hands. So that way he's got he's got it where he's not thinking he's on leash. Sit. Good, sit, good boy. And then you can quickly reel him back in. Also, if you wrap it around your hand, there's a good chance it's going to stay there if he pulls or if he decides to take off. Finley, I highly doubt that would ever happen with him, but you never know. Let's go, babe. Let's go. Yeah, sometimes when you're doing these exercises, you got to give him a little chance to understand that he can walk away from you right now. He's pretty clingy. He likes to be close to me, so it could be a little bit of an issue. Come on, buddy. Let's go. Let's go. Get out there. Come on. Atta boy. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Boy, good. Come. Come on. You're not going to get distracted for me, are you? Fynn, come. Atta boy. Good, come, yes. Okay. All right, let's go. Let's go. Good, calm. As you can tell, Finn's already had long line work, and he's pretty clingy to me. Fynn, come! Yes! Good boy. That's a good come. Yes. Okay. All right, buddy. Fynn, come! Yes! Good come. Hey. Huh? Come here. Good boy. Atta boy. Good. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Fynn, come. Yes, good, come, good boy. All right, come on, buddy. As you can tell, Fynn kind of understands the game a little bit, and he's about to the point where he needs a couple different locations and a couple different excitements. He's pretty focused on the cat right now, but he's still wanting to come back to me instead of chase the cat. So that's kind of a foundation. I think I had to get after him once there, so maybe one or two more times in this yard and then move to a different spot, up in the front pasture or up at a whole different location where there might be a bunch of geese flying or kids, where it's really exciting and you want to make sure that he is coming back to you each time with one command. So